We begin at the entry area where the ministers will help the greeters to open the doors for people coming in. People can come in then and maybe hang up their coats, kind of get situated, put the umbrellas away or whatever. And then here at this center area is where we have the ministers that will be handing out the worship aids at the beginning of Mass, and the ushers can hand out the bulletins at the end of Mass. There'll be a station on each side of this area here, of the gathering space. Here's where the family room will be. This is a place that the family could take their children who might need a break from the congregation. Coffee and donuts are here. We'll sign in at the sign-in area right here. The name tags will be in the drawers. Here's where the reader can check the readings. The altar server's robes are here and you can check in. Here's where the other greeter will need to be, and the other location of the worship aids. The bathrooms are located down this hallway in case anyone needs to use a restroom. The celebrants' vesting will be over here in this area. Entering the nave, baptismal font. Here is where the gifts will be placed. Plus, if there's any baptisms, baptism candles will be there. This is the Sacrament of Reconciliation room. And this is the shrine area. Here's where the oils are placed, used for baptism. Again, here's where the candles will be for baptism. Moving towards the sanctuary. Coming up in procession, the crossbearer will go behind the stained glass wall. There's a place where the processional cross will be placed. Cantor stand. The ambo. Here's a credence table where we will have the vessels all set up. Deacon chair and father's chair. Here's where the sacristy is. And the vessels will be there in the upper cabinets, and the wine would be down in the lower cabinets. The key to the tabernacle is in one of the drawers. Back here is the tabernacle. The sacristan should check the host before Mass. Here's where the cups should be placed once all the precious blood has been consumed. Here's also where the candle lighting equipment is. Here's a graphic we're using to understand where we're going to be standing during communion. It's really not as complicated as it looks. I'm going to break it down for you in this video. So pretty much after the sign of peace, the ministers will gather behind the wall at the sanctuary and would line up with the hosts and the cup ministers side by side, with host one and cup one at the front. Then they would come up the ramp onto the sanctuary and gather around the celebrant with cup one and host one side by side, as we've done in the past. The other ministers will then fan out on each side of host one and cup one. They receive communion, then they go to their spots. Host one and cup one will go on the side of the musicians, and the rest will scatter around in this orientation where you have a cup minister, a host minister, a cup minister, a host minister, and the celebrant. A cup minister, host minister, and cup minister. The communicants come to the major aisles. So this host minister here and this host minister here will be serving these two sides. On this side, the musicians will go first, and then the communicants will come to the front, to the host minister, and then they'll go to the cup ministers, and then they will go back to their seats. Here we see the communicants coming up to receive, and this minister will serve both sections, and then the communicants will go to the respective cup ministers. This example, they're coming down the main aisle. They're going to the celebrant and to a host minister, and then the communicants will go to the respective cup ministers. At the beginning, this cup minister will also be serving two sections. Once this row and this section are done, the minister of the cup here can move over to stand next to the minister of the cup on this side. There's a chance that this section and this section will still be going through while these two are done. And so to help with that, this minister will still be here and here because there will be still people from this group possibly going through. This situation can occur on one or both sides. And finally, because this is such a long amount of people, there could be a chance that there's still communicants coming to Father and this central minister, in which case the host minister here that would be done with this section and the host minister here done with this section would move over here to this slide. The cup ministers would also reposition themselves to allow for movement between them. So that people could come here and then go through them to the cup minister and then back to their seats. This may not happen often, but there could be occasionally a situation where that would be the case. So looking at our chart then, we can see that we've got pretty much everything here laid out for the standard location of ministers, where you would start back here, come up, stand behind the celebrant, and then go to your stations, and then noting that these cup ministers may need to move over to here if they're done with their row, these two sections, and that these are still going on.